Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. Woohoo! Which can lead to involuntary deal squeals, like the infamous deal on a new massager squeal. Yeah! Save big on Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
Elevate your game in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe, the capable SUV that features premium interiors with available captain's chairs, available dual wireless device charging, and bold new technology, all with plenty of room for your cargo and crew. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. You're listening to 80/20. It's 25 days of podcasts. I would definitely have to say that I spend about 80% of my time in the 20s. Okay, but like, what does that even mean?
I absolutely love Christmas.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to or back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking on today's episode. Today I have a very special guest that typically frequents the show, but I don't think you've been on in a while.
No, I don't think so either.
How long do you think it's been?
Disclaimer, I don't listen to podcasts religiously, only here and there, but...
Only when you're featured?
No. Like, I do listen to it. Like, I'll walk to it sometimes, but like...
Really?
Yeah, but a lot of the
nice
conversations we have already.
Mm-hmm.
Or
the
like...
show's definitely inspired by the conversations that I have in day-to-day life.
Absolutely.
So typically
like,
there's topics that like we discuss and I pull.
Right. Or like you'll tell me about it. Like, oh, today I talked about blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, like we talked about that already. So like I'll miss it. Like exactly. Whatever. But
which I'm totally fine with because...
It's kind of the same thing with YouTube. When you did videos,
oh, absolutely.
I was like, I lived it, you know? But podcast is a bit different.
So for those of you who don't know... I don't even think I introduced you yet.
No, I just started talking.
What else is new?
I'm Lexie. I'm Lily's younger sister, roommate, best friend, and sidekick.
That's a pretty good description. Yeah,
I think so.
I would say so myself. And today we are pretty much just going to shoot the shit. Typically when Lexie comes on the show, they are popular among listeners that know you.
Yeah.
Because they know how funny you are. And you bring out a different, kind of a different side of me. It's kind of my more silly side. When I record by myself, I'm very intentional because it's like, we've got a topic to cover. I've got things to share. But then whenever I have a guest on, it's definitely more conversational. So.
Well, yeah. And then also it's like when you record by yourself, you have bullet points to hit because you kind of plan it out prior to hitting play on the microphone. And then... yeah, it's a conversation when you have two people. And then you go off the rails and we make jokes and stuff. So it's just different.
And it's funny. And Mom loves them.
Yeah, she said, it's like being at home in the kitchen with you girls, just being silly. It's so cute.
We're currently recording in the living room. And our friend Abby, she just moved. And we're so sad about it. But she gave us this really cool coffee table that like lifts up. So we put the microphone on that. We've got Friends going on the TV, but it's muted. We're cozied up on the same little love seat couch together, and we've just had a night. We made dinner. We both sat on our computers and like worked for a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely love seeing you guys tag me in all your Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
It came out earlier this week, and it's the coolest thing seeing you guys posting about me in your Wrapped. It's like so surreal.
It's just like weird to see my sister on people's charts.
Right?
It's just crazy. But yeah,
Thank you. So Lexie's not a big Spotify girl.
No. If I'm on Spotify, I'm using Lily's account. And normally it's her using her account on my phone. Like in the car or something.
But she is an Apple Music girl and I'm a Spotify girl. But we both had the same number one song.
Yeah. I thought that was crazy.
But I'm also not surprised because we're kind of
the same.
A little too similar.
But all of our, let me pull mine up again, like all of our artists and stuff were different except for that. I spent a total of 48,611 minutes.
Okay, mine was 44,955, I think.
Beat you.
Just shy of 45,000.
And I'm kind of sad though that it like stopped counting when it came out because the two songs I had, like number 1, number 2, it was Girl on Fire by Cameron Marlowe and then Sugar by Ernest. And when it stopped tracking, they were one play away. Like Girl on Fire was number 1, it had 95 plays, and then Sugar had 94 plays. And they were going back and forth for a long time because Apple Music has a feature where you can download your year in review before as a playlist. And so I've just been listening to that forever because it's like kind of like my all-time favorite songs just all in one spot. So they've been like flip-flopping, but I'm mad that it like stopped counting because I feel like I probably broke 100 for both of them.
I was gonna say, I listened to Girl on Fire like almost 200 times, so there's no way that yours is only sitting at 95.
No, exactly.
Right.
Like it stopped, and then also I don't think I've listened to Girl on Fire in like a few weeks. Ernest, I listen to Sugar every single day.
Lexie wakes up.
Sugar! No, I really do. But it's crazy because
Some Other Bar was my number 2. That's your number 3. That's funny.
Yeah.
Burn Me Out, Brian Fuller. That was
that made it really high.
That was my number 5. I don't know why You Proof was my number 3 because I don't
Broadway
listen
Girls
to
was number 9 for me, which I don't really listen to that much. And same with Why I Can't Leave by Connor Smith. I played that song like religiously when we were moving, but that's kind of it.
That was like a year ago. And then I wish that you could see how many times you listen to all these other songs because I'm like, there's no way that I listen to You Proof.
Actually, we get down to that song on your phone. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
I feel like, but it's also insane if you look at how many people had Midnights on their top albums. Like Midnights was number 3 and it came out less than a month ago. And I played it 123 times.
Holy crap.
That's insane that I've played Midnights 123 times and I've played my number 1 and number 2 albums 226 times and 165 times.
That's crazy.
But Midnights is like kind of creeping up.
I liked Midnights, but it didn't come up in my, I didn't listen to it as much as I listened to.
Well, I think it's because I like listened to like 4 songs
like
on there
repeat.
A bunch. Yeah.
I Want to See Some Ass by Jack Harlow was my number 11.
I
thought that it was going to be a little bit higher. Were there any surprises in your Wrapped?
I'm kind of surprised that Zach Bryan, American Heartbreak, was up there because I like him. I like some of his songs, but not as much as some of the artists below. So I was just kind of surprised. Like, Morgan Wallen was way lower. Or, like, why was Reputation on my thing that came out forever ago? I think it's great. I think it's so fun to look at everybody else's stuff.
I love
and compare
seeing
notes.
Everybody's stuff. I want more people to post their Wrapped because I so care.
Even if it's like low-key embarrassing to them, like I care about it. I want to know. I'm interested. I would love to just see the things that you're into.
And I think that you can learn a lot about a person through their music taste.
Oh, yeah.
So, Lex, you recently started a new business venture.
I did. It's called At Her Place. It's a house call esthetician business. I'm really excited about it. It just launched a little over 2 weeks ago, and it's been received well. I had really well. Yeah, I had a few clients. I have a pop-up event I'm planning right now.
So what does it mean exactly to be a house call esthetician?
Basically, I come to them with all the services that they desire, I guess you could say. I do lash lifts, wax, spray tans. I am a lash lift and dermaplane specialist. So those two services I offer the most.
Would you say that lash lifts and dermaplanes are your most popular?
Yes, especially lash lifts. They are just such an awesome instant gratification service, and they're really popular right now.
Your lashes look fire, by the way.
Really?
Like, super
I had
good.
to do a lash lift on myself, which I would not recommend doing unless you're a licensed...
You're like one eye open.
Yeah, unless you're a licensed esthetician, do not do it on yourself. You have to do it with,
I need one, like, ASAP.
I know. Well, maybe later tonight.
Okay.
But, yeah, I can't wink. So, well, I can kind of wink with this eye, but not the other. So, like...
She's over here winking at me.
Yeah, so I look like... I don't know, kind of ridiculous, and the right eye was just disastrous, but I made it work, and lash lift and tint, DIY. But anyway, so at her place, House Call Esthetician, I'm serving Annapolis, Baltimore, DC areas, so find me on Instagram, let me know what you think, inquire, message me to book. I'm really excited about it.
You actually have a couple events coming up soon.
I do have a spray tan and eyebrow wax pop-up event coming to Main Street in Annapolis at B Boutique, so I'm really excited about that. That'll be December 14th from 4 to 8. Obviously, the appointment time slots, drinks. I'm pretty sure they're doing some discounted shopping, so that'll be super cool.
It's kind of like a fun little girls' night out event. So if you have a couple friends, or maybe it'd be like a fun thing to bring like your mom to or your daughter to or whatever, but I'll be there.
Yeah,
Lexie
absolutely.
obviously will
Little
be there.
crossover promotion.
An 80-20 meet and greet, maybe?
Oh my gosh. That'd be so funny. I guess I could send out a little invite in the 80-20 thing. Not to like steal your thunder.
No, please do.
But
take it away.
yeah. I think it'd be super fun. And also it's just like those girls I model with at B Boutique, so they are super encouraging and super supportive of the whole thing. So I'm really excited to kind of bring my business out in the world. That'll be our first like public event. So I'm really pumped about that.
We hosted, or I guess Lexie hosted, but it was in my house too. So I guess it was kind of
it was like a co-host type thing.
But we hosted an open house like for friends and family, and it was super fun to have just like, I don't know, probably like 15 girls over here.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I don't know, I just felt so overwhelmed with support and just love that it kind of made me more encouraged to continue my crazy ideas. Because sometimes it feels like, you know, you have this idea and like only a few people support you, and it kind of goes in waves in the way you feel about it. But I am on an all-time high about this, and the more I have clients, the more I feel just so excited and ready for this to just take off. And I don't know, it's just crazy.
So why did you choose the name At Her Place? Or how did you choose the name At Her? Maybe let's set the scene for them, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lily and I were at a coffee shop in the back corner.
Did we plan to work on your business that day? Or did we just bring our computers and we were just working?
So we were just sitting in the back corner. We both had our computers and notebooks. And I think that I wanted to try to brainstorm how I could either A, get a job, or B, start my own business. Because for those of you who don't know, I got my full license in August, and now it's December, and I have been turned away from multiple jobs just solely because they didn't A, have space, or B, want me as a full-time esthetician because I didn't have clientele around here in Annapolis. They offered me front desk positions, but I kindly turned them away because that's not what I went to school for. I don't have a license to be a front desk girl. I have a license to do hands-on esthetician work. So Lily and I were at Bean Rush, which is a coffee shop, the back corner of Bean Rush, with our laptops in early November. And we were sitting there, and I was just kind of ranting. I was frustrated, and Lily was like, you should just take it away and do your own thing. And the only reason why I haven't done my own thing up until this point was because I was so stuck on the fact of how much overhead it was to have a storefront. That's incredibly difficult, especially when you don't have clientele coming with you into a new space. And so rent, supplies, clients, all lacking. So in my mind, it went down like we looked at each other and kind of both had this idea, I come to them. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Because I don't really remember. It just happened. And we were all of a sudden brainstorming ideas for this business that I go to them. I go to the client at their place. We were trying to come up with a name just that didn't sound...
All the names that we went through either just sounded cheesy or they just didn't have that, like, it factor.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't have the it factor name. And when something just kind of feels right and it clicks,
You're excited about it immediately.
And we were just throwing things out there and nothing sounded good.
I was the one who came up with it. Mm-hmm. But then I kind of was like, wait, does that sound, like, dirty? I don't know how else to describe it, because I was like, wait. Because I think I said something about, like, oh, I'll go to her place. And then you were like, wait, that's amazing. And I was like, no, that was supposed to be, like, a sexual joke. and then you said something like, no, that's perfect because you are going to her place. And then I was like, okay, well, let's look up synonyms for place because I feel like it's not clicking right now. And then we were, like, looking up synonyms for home and apartment, and it was like at her walk up, at her
condo.
What was the one?
At her bungalow.
Oh yeah, it was just like stupid, and I was like, okay, honestly, let's go with place. And then I was still kind of like, eh. And then all of a sudden, Lily's being a little marketing wizard on her computer, and she turns her thing around, and she has this gorgeous graphic, and I was like, no, this is amazing. This is it. It's bright pink. It's bold. It's loud. It's just everything that I am, I feel like, and everything that, like, a brand would be that I would create. Obviously, like, Lily's a big helping hand in this. I don't know what else I would call you. Like, you're like my marketing girl. But I mean, I've been making some stuff now too. Like, you kind of showed me the
yeah. You kind of have templates now too, which is nice.
Yeah, you've showed me the ropes and you helped me a lot. And I'm very thankful for that. Yeah, that's kind of the birth of At Her Place. the origin story.
The home birth, if you will. We did At Her Place, and then I was like, oh, house calls only. Mm-hmm. So then that was starting the whole phone thing. So
yeah, it's like another
the logo for yours. But yeah, I thrive at coffee shops.
It's just where the magic happens. That's all I have to say about
where
that.
The magic happens. Mom and I wrote the cookbook at a coffee shop. I think I started the idea for this podcast at a coffee shop.
I don't know. You just sit down and just everything comes.
I kind of thrive off of, like, that energy from other people too. Like, when it's kind of buzzing a little bit. Not to the point where, like, kids are running around. Like, the other day when we were in there. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. But when people are all kind of, like, with their heads down and working, it's easy to kind of, like, you know, their like creativity and energy is kind of, like, radiating off of them.
Yeah.
So I find that energy very
like helpful in your creative mind.
It's like contagious.
Both of us work a lot, okay? And the last thing we want to do when we come home from work is talk about work. Why would we bitch about people when we can analyze the male mind?
Great. Okay. Do you think your crush is listening right now?
I don't know if I have a crush.
I don't know if I have a crush either.
Like, I have, like, boys or a boy that I like different qualities in, but no one has proved themselves worthy of being a full-on crush yet because they always do something, and I'm like, ugh, okay. Points deducted.
I've kind of
also, wait, I'm gonna interrupt you.
No,
I also have been just hurt so many times, or like let down, I guess, not even hurt, just like let down and disappointed. So it takes a lot for me to be like fully invested in somebody, and then there's those times where I get fully invested in somebody and then they let me down without reason. So then I'm just like, is it even worth putting the crush label on this next person?
Totally. Yeah, no, you totally have a good point there. Great point, Lexie. Just to kind of piggyback off of that. I've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'm heavily just focusing on me. Mm-hmm. And back in September, I made the decision. I, like, kind of swore off boys.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I am just going to focus on me. And when I was in 8th grade, I distinctly remember sitting in my room with, and we sat there and we literally wrote down on notebook paper like a criteria list for boys.
Yeah.
And I know that you've done the same with like, you know, like back in middle school.
No, I literally had to do that at Christian school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know where it is. I should find it.
So when we were home for Thanksgiving, I wanted to see if it was in the attic with that Discovery Girl magazine. It was like
Did
the
you
same
find
area.
it?
No, I never looked.
Oh.
Whenever I go home next, I will definitely try to look. But I wanted to find it and read it because when I swore off boys a couple months ago, I went back to my criteria list and I started writing down
you made a
things.
new one.
Yeah, I had actually,
on notes.
I made a new one in notes like back in April, and then I returned to this list and I heavily edited it, and I've been editing it. Like,
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Again.
Go back and edit it. I want to compare what's important to me now to what was important to me in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that I'm picturing this list, it was like at least 20 or 30 points deep.
And you never even had like a boyfriend or your first kiss or
and
anything.
you're literally in 8th grade. So it's like, what was important to you as a kid that's important to you now? Is there any crossover?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. But anyway, this list now is like 30 points deep. And yeah. And then I also have an absolutely no list. Like, immediately
Classic.
no. And it's really like seemingly silly things, but like rude to me, rude to his mom, rude to the waiter.
Well, that's huge though. Like, it sounds like it's silly and little, but it's actually very important.
And you can tell a lot about a person about how they treat, even like holding the door for someone behind them.
Yeah. So I just remember being in class, and you know what? Maybe it wasn't when I was at Christian high school. I think like it's like boarding school, or like my parents didn't know. Like, it just when I was at Christian school, because I went to 2 high schools, so we just say like Christian school versus public school, which is like, it's neither one is nor like bad or good, but it's just like, I don't know. But anyway, I think it was back in 9th grade, so I was still in the public school, but we were reading Romeo and Juliet, and she made us make a list because of, I don't know, somehow it related to the book or some exercise we were doing.
Who was your English teacher?
I don't remember her name.
Because that's such a cool thing for a teacher to do.
Right?
If anybody's a teacher listening, find a way to incorporate that into your class.
But I think it was like whoever my crush was at the time. I like wrote it for like
You gotta tell him that now.
But you know what? I might be able to find it in my Snapchat story, or because I remember like sending it, like making it like brown hair, like brown eyes, like all this stuff, like super specific and superficial, that when I like Snapchatted him back, it was like my computer screen, and he was like, I do those things, and I was like, oh, weird. Okay, this is literally, it's a whole Google document. Perfect mate. If you had to list the physical traits of your perfect mate, what would they be? At least 5. Taller than me, pretty eyes, blue or brown, good smile, nice hair, brown or blonde. Hey, she did say physical. If you had to list the personality traits of your perfect mate, what would they be? At least 5. A gentleman, opens doors and compliments me. Funny, smart, athletic, and caring. That's what I can see. Huh. I mean, it's all true.
Yeah.
That's all comparable to what I would be into
still
now.
Checks out, yeah.
It's just so funny. It's literally a whole, like, oh, wait, it says parent and student. So I think it says, like, student, and then the next one was, like, mom and dad had to fill it out. What they would want for their child. But I remember I made that for
Shout out. That's hilarious.
He would be so happy to know that now.
You gotta tell him that, though, at some point.
But there's no good time to tell somebody that you made this project based on them because you had a huge crush on you. Oh, a freshman girl with a junior boy.
What else
I was
is new?
so in love. And then now he wants me to be back in love.
Isn't that funny, though? They always come back.
Yeah.
They always come back. Anyway,
what's your...
Mine are, we all kind of, like, have our type, and, like, you kind of have that in the back of your brain. I feel like that doesn't need to be written down. But these are all, like actions or qualities or, like, philosophies.
Yeah.
That I feel like someone needs to have. Someone that I'm with needs to have. So I'm sure that all of you are thinking of criteria right now. So get out your notes app. Make some criteria. And seriously, the second that someone doesn't hit one of these, bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Let me hear.
Oh, you want to hear some of my criteria?
Yeah, like the easy ones. Like, don't give away all your good stuff.
Okay. Like, they sound like kind of silly though.
But but if it's important to you,
yeah. Well,
and somebody is made for that.
Aw. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not being like.
Okay. Good listener, offers solid advice, wants to sit and drink a cup of coffee with me in the morning. This is silly. Country music, bonus points if he drives a truck.
It's not silly.
Knows how to fix things. Family's a priority. Obviously makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Supports me and isn't intimidated by my goals and the things that I do. I don't know. It like almost seems like so basic. Like there's that what is it, Tennessee Orange?
Oh yeah.
And she's like, opens the door and don't make me cry.
Yeah.
And in my head I'm thinking, girl, like the bar is literally on the floor. But it's like
so true.
And it's just the basics.
Yeah.
Like just being like a good human to another human and like complimenting them, doing the little like gentleman things, like the sidewalk rule.
Yeah.
Like I notice
That's
when people do that
huge.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it's not like when I walk on the sidewalk with a guy, like I'm not like waiting for it, but it's just like, it's like, huh.
Or even just like a guy friend.
Yeah.
Like I was walking back with one time.
I remember
on
that.
the bridge, and he goes, no friend of mine is walking on the roadside. What's on your list? If you had to, have you made a criteria list recently?
No.
All right,
no.
what would be like your top 3 right now? Or not even your top 3, but just like rattle off 3.
Well, definitely somebody who like puts God as their priority, because
spiritual, open-minded.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was interested in this boy and he was trying to tell me that we were in a simulation, and I was like, that's just not gonna work out. And if you don't align your ideas and beliefs right off the bat, like when there's no like label on whatever the relationship is, that's huge. And it's like, if you don't find that out until like later on, it's gonna cause a lot of issues, big and small. Definitely like what you said, like wants a family, you know, family is important to him. Like not afraid to have a conversation, no matter what it's about.
Well, and also just like open communication.
Yeah.
And I think about this a lot too, just like with the current climate of like dating apps and stuff. Like anyone, it seems like you can have some sort of relationship with anybody that you want at any given moment, because there's like seemingly endless opportunities.
Yeah.
Like I have friends that will text and they'll be like, hey, I'm getting back on Hinge, like, you know, the last guy didn't work out, so like here we go again. And it's like, okay, well maybe like let's take some time, and I'm kind of going on a tangent, but like let's take some time and like focus on ourselves and like not be on the dating apps really quick.
Yeah.
And like
that's
just take a break from boys or whatever you're looking for, because you don't always need to be like looking for the next best thing. So anyway, my whole point is like in like the era of ghosting, it's super easy to just be like,
all right, next,
and like never talk to this person again, when like even a quick text of like, hey, you know what, it's been nice getting to know you, but like I'm kind of like thinking about something else. I'm thinking about like something else, or someone else came up.
I think it was like a reel, like one of those inspirational like little clips, but he's basically saying that 80% of the relationships nowadays are bullshit because people have never been able to love themselves first. And then from that, I don't know if you saw my post the other day, but I kind of like created the quote that says like, don't employ other people to love you because you never learned how to love yourself. I don't know if you saw that. Did you whip that up? Yeah, from this video, it like inspired me, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa! Like, and I just came up with that, and I thought it was pretty good. If you don't take the time to do the things that you need to do and solve your problems and figure all that shit out, then adding another person into the equation is just gonna get messy after a while. Like, it might be all hunky-dory, you might feel like the best version of yourself when you first get into this whole big relationship with them, but then eventually it's all going to come apart. And not saying everything will be disastrous all the time, but just like if you never learn all the things about yourself and then suddenly they start to unfold while this other person is also there, it's going to get messy and it's going to get confusing, and you're never going to be able to solve those issues in any relationship if you keep ending things and then jumping to the next and ending them and jumping to the next. That's why you have to spend time with yourself before getting in.
Well, and you're not only doing a disservice to yourself,
but everybody else.
When you neglect your needs, but you're doing a disservice to someone else. or the other girls that you meet on the dating apps, or the other girls that
because
buy a drink at the bar.
Everybody's gonna get ghosted in the end. Everyone's gonna be confused, yourself included, and you're never gonna figure out, and you're never gonna feel whole because you've never figured out how to love yourself. You just always employed other people to do it.
You're just spitting the truth tonight, girlfriend.
I'm on fire.
You are on fire.
Girl on fire.
By Cameron Marlowe. And that, my friend, is
I was
called
thinking,
a full circle.
I was thinking Alicia Keys.
Oh. We'll probably get a text from Mom right about now.
For what?
As she's listening to this episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, girl. Shout out.
Shout out, Kel. Shout out, Steve.
Does he watch or listen?
I don't know. He called me the other day. Yeah, he called me the other day, and he said that they listened with,
Yeah, Grandpa Bill and Nancy.
Yeah, in the car.
Hey, family.
Hey, guys. I would sometimes prefer that my family don't listen, because sometimes I drop the F-bomb, but other than that, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's rated E for explicit, not E for everyone. Do you have any parting words for the listeners?
Life is crazy. It is what it should be.
What's that from?
It's a Drake song.
That was crazy.
Oh, no, life is amazing. It is what it should be.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to subscribe to the show, leave a 5-star rate and review, share it with a friend that would also enjoy it. You guys already know this, but I'm posting new episodes every single day throughout the month of December, so stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. Love you guys lots. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.